ability usage is a bit of a symptom of positioning.
Okay.
Um, so like it's kind of at its core is positioning, but I think that you can also work backwards, which is where if you can improve your ability usage, you'll then like by necessity need to improve your positioning because you'll realize you're out of positioning when you're out of position when you're like holding on to your abilities accordingly.
Okay.
So let's get into those like themes because I think like when we think about the broader theme of why those are important, it all has to do with like your job as the brawler, which in my opinion is to maintain control of the core as long as possible. um if you maintain control of the core, you are winning. And that's just like always how it works. That's why I'm a dribble merchant. If you are dribbling, you are in control.
Hmm.
And so um let's get into the first game and let's see if we
So
can
we can
identify
always
some of
ignore their
those.
goalies if you don't want first pick.
Um if we can
It's your call, Graham.
I think the recording for this messed up, and I
Oh, is it
only
still?
had my own audio,
They
so
didn't
it's
have to
probably
let
worth
you
just
Oh
muting
yeah,
me.
that's fine. Okay. Oh, actually there's one other thing I saw, which was so a lot of um with Zentaro, I think you have to play a little differently than what you're used to with Juliet because Zentaro is squishier. So I
Okay.
think with Juliet, you're a little bit more used to just tanking stuff and being able to play through it. But with Zentaro, because you get staggered a lot sooner, you were kind of keeping yourself in the play a lot longer than you needed to when you were staggered.
Okay.
And that led to you dying a lot more. So I think one of the themes here was like Xenockz was just killing you so much here. Some
Hmm.
of it was because of the edge play, which I
Yeah.
think also is because you're used to playing Juliet, so you're the edge threat, not the one getting hit.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that when you're Zentaro, you have to just be more cognizant of the fact that you will have to like move back when you're staggered more and
Okay.
communicate that with your midfielder to say like, hey, midfielder, like you might need to move up because I need to kind of hang back and try to collect orbs.
Okay.
Your goalie should also be aware of that too, that like you'll be squishier and might need to collect orbs.
I
All
think
right.
the
So,
first dash punch that I get hit by is actually crazy. That was a really
I
good
mean,
dash punch from him.
Xenockz has an insane eye for dash punches, but that's
Yeah.
also like the only thing he's looking out for. He does not touch the core.
Okay.
So I'm not exactly the most knowledgeable on kickoffs, so I'm not going to critique kickoffs here.
Okay.
But okay, let's go to like what I like to try to do is go interaction by interaction and see what your thought process is. So,
So at the
all right,
start here, I'm like I don't think it's helpful to kick off. Like ignoring kickoff, I don't think it's going to be helpful to
yeah,
send it to the goalie. But then I see I'm trying to cover in between you guys for any passing or
yep,
stay open as well. And then ZZ's kind of sends it straight to you guys. So I just try and pray that I win a strike war to you, I guess, before
yeah.
repositioning.
So I think you have the right idea. It's just little micro movements here. So you'll see that like right now you're not in between me and Xenockz.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a little further back, right, and just maintaining that in between line between us, you'll be
Okay.
able to receive the pass here.
Got it.
And what you notice is at this point it's already too late. Yeah, at that point you'd already been too far, so there's just no chance of winning.
Okay.
But then so this is another thing that I also talked about with Taco a lot is like a core thing that people do very often is when they miss a strike, they immediately throw an ability out.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see me do it too. It's just such an intuitive thing where you're just like, oh man, I failed to get core control. And so because of that, you like try to ask yourself, well, how can I get core control back? And then the answer is, oh, let me throw out an ability. The problem is that kind of uh, wastes your ability, and usually you don't get that much value out of it. So
Okay.
like there, you did that for that exact reason where you didn't get core control. You were kind of um, you were kind of like, oh, let me throw out an ability.
Mm-hmm.
Taco's here. Taco, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like when you miss a strike, and then you throw out an ability because you're like, oh, I need to get core control. Um, get that. All right, let's see. What is your choice in terms of how you send? You send it in that direction, and then you get KO'd.
Yeah.
Um, so I think in this case, like ideally, you don't. Well, send it because you think that I will miss it, which I don't. In this case, I think the right play is a vertical dribble.
Okay.
You will hear me say that a lot of times, which is vertical dribble. Because okay, so right now the thing is, so let's talk. How much do you know about the concept of strike advantage?
I don't know much about that.
Okay, so strike advantage is the way to think about this conceptually is you have strike advantage if you will still come out on top if you don't touch the core. So the most common example of this is the core is coming from the left towards you to the right,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like you and the goalie, right?
Yeah, so
You have strike advantage because if
huge,
you don't
yeah.
touch the core, yeah, exactly.
You should walk with it.
So exactly, just walk with it. So like people talk about like, oh, just strike second, but you need to understand like the base concept of why that works in some situations and it doesn't in others. And the reason why is strike advantage. If you don't have strike advantage, it's a lot harder to strike second. So
Okay.
when you don't have strike advantage, um, or a way to set up strike advantage is to vertical dribble. Because like when you want to win an interaction, you can do it in two ways. You can do it through strike advantage, or you can do it through ability advantage. Ability advantage is just like you used an ability, the opponent didn't, or your ability beat their ability, and but then you like trade off your cooldown. Strike advantage is just a straight up win because you just trade off your strike cooldowns, and that's why strike advantage is so strong. So your goal as the brawler is to always try to generate those advantages. You're trying to generate a strike advantage or generate a ability advantage where you get like the enemy goalie or the enemy midfielder to burn an ability, and you don't. And the way to do that is dribbling always. Yep. So that's why I'm a dribble merchant. Dribbling allows you to set up strike advantage. It allows you to maintain control. It allows you to set the interaction on your terms. You're deciding where the core goes. You know where it's gonna go, and the enemy has to react to where you dribble.
Okay.
So you can set up strike advantage. You can also set up ability advantage because you can bait out abilities, and all you did was strike, right? So in this case, like you were at a strike disadvantage because if you don't strike it, you need to then it goes to Xenockz, right?
Yep.
Your goal is to set up some sort of advantage. If you strike it at any of us, we're at advantage, so we're just gonna, and that's what happens here, right? You strike it to me, I get it, and I get to decide where.
Yep.
The better play is to strike vertical, because I'm trying to set up. I'm like positioning for when you hit in the direction you actually did.
Okay.
If you hit vertical, then ZZs can like rotate down and then grab it. So this is what I call like the vertical dribble moment, and there's a lot of those moments that I think will always be bound to find as we go to the VOD. Like, okay, let's talk about Xenockz here. So, okay. right here, I'm setting up a strike advantage for him, right?
Yep.
If he doesn't touch it, then he just wins. But the problem that he has is he doesn't understand strike advantage.
Okay.
He's not patient enough. He just strikes it the second the core gets to him. What he needs to do is just not touch the core, ironically enough, because he has strike advantage. Yeah, exactly. So like every moment that the core gets to you, you should evaluate whether you have strike advantage. Okay, so you all do some good passing here. ZZ's misses, unfortunately. Let me check this here. So you have abilities up. Okay, you have a second option here. I know that like your coaching is really trying to teach you to do like intense passing between you all, and that's actually probably like the topmost play is to do like really strong passing. To use those abilities to try to go for the barrier, because what you can do is you can go for the 1v1 against Taco here. Let's check to see whether he had his abilities. probably added this in me.
So he rolled
'Cause he's a good
there.
because he's a good goalie and he's not. Yeah,
But
so
he's
he has
got
his
log and
abilities.
alt. Or no, he doesn't have alt. He's level 1.
Okay, so here I'm gonna dribble vertically. And let's see where you are. Dribbling, because I don't see a like strong angle. The other thing that vertical dribbles allow you to do is buy time. Like micro changes in the positioning will happen when you do a dribble, and then those open up new opportunities. But what you do is you wrestle control from me, which is good, and then you throw an ability, which I think is good. Yeah, you get the barrier. All right, so let's go into this dribble here. So one thing about barrier takes also, because the barriers exist for a little bit after, usually pretty advantageous to wait a little second after a barrier take before you do any striking, because
Okay.
it can mess up some of your setups.
Yeah, I mean, I dribbled like that because it was still up.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you just wait a little bit, because let's go back into like whether or not you have strike advantage. You're in full control there. If right, like after this goes to you, you're in control. I'm not really in a position to contest you yet.
Mhm.
So you can kind of just sit there. You don't have to strike it. You can walk with it and then like wait to set up more. Because the other thing is like as you wait to set up, you allow your and your teammates' abilities to come off of cooldown, and also you're still in control. So I think just waiting there before you do it would give you more time. Then I think here you needed to just activate your secondary a little sooner.
Yep.
But you do have the right idea to use your second, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get value on your second. So let's talk about ability usage. One thing I noticed about your secondary usage, which I'll point out a bit later in this, is that you often use it just to reposition. On Zentaro, secondary for repositioning is really bad until you have a Dash Awakening, because the windup on it is so long that you essentially get to the exact same spot if you just walk there instead of using your secondary. So
Okay.
I'll find opportunities to point that out later. I know you got some Zentaro coaching. Who is your Zentaro coach?
I watched a. Oh man, I don't even remember his name. I watched an old coaching VOD of basically someone teaching Gorf how to play Zentaro, and then from there,
Okay.
Gorf has given me pointers.
Okay, gotcha. So back in the day, I actually thought that I would end up playing Zentaro, so I actually got some Zentaro coaching, so I know a little bit about Zentaro ability usage. One of the main things he taught me was about how secondary usage on Zentaro. Before you get a Dash Awakening, you really need to limit the usage of it to only trying to line up both the core and at least somebody else.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's or in like a kill confirm. Otherwise, you don't get a lot of value out of it. So if you had used that sooner, it would have worked. Not much you can do there, other than just try to maintain. Yeah, oh, they already identified that you could have just sit there. Right. Okay, so right here, I wrestled it from you. But let's see if there was something you could do here. At the end of the day, so like ability in order to get it. So a lot of times I remember when I was talking to Xenockz, and he was like, "No, this is bad because I didn't get the core." And I was kind of like, "Well, you can't think of it that way, because like your job as a brawler is to get the enemy to burn their abilities, and then you don't. And so in this case, I had to burn my secondary in order to take the control away from you. So then your goal is like, okay, well, I've gotten them to get an ability. Now I have some ability advantage. And so with that ability advantage, that's where then the ability usage comes into play. So you use it here to get value on both of them, but Taco moves away properly. Right there, though. Is that the right way to use your primary? Yeah, I think that's fine. And then, so like when you're in the corner like this, like Zentaro ultimate, I think is just always gaining value if you use it in the corner because you
Mhm.
you're gonna force out an ability from him. He also doesn't have his ult yet because he's still level 1. So you could like ult in the corner right here to get the barrier.
So if
Granted, it
I
is the first barrier.
yeah, if I ult here for the first barrier and Dubu wins that with just a log, that's worth it?
Does he have log?
I have no idea.
See.
But that's the simple Dubu ability that would beat it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. See.
Yeah, he hasn't used anything yet.
Oh, he does have log. Okay, you're fine then. You're fine.
Because I doubt that
Ooh.
I thought that, but
Yeah, now he used log. You get this. Oh yeah. Okay, so this dribble.
is that you or me?
It kind of
Yeah, that was you.
that was me.
I tried to bounce it
Oh,
off the
okay.
wall.
Yeah, you had the right idea. Either off the wall or off the or off the decaying barrier would be an option. So here, what your midfielder needs to set this up for you next is like test my dribble, but they get orb muncher. Yeah, so that's not your fault. Oh, so this is another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Is that if you feel like your midfielder is getting gapped, it makes your core control job even more essential. Which is
Okay.
that like because the way to think about this is the midfielder sets up a lot of opportunities for the brawler. But if the midfielder is getting gapped, then the brawler needs to set up the opportunities for themselves. And the way to do that is to maintain core control. If you maintain that core control so well that like the enemy midfielder needs to back up to you and like continue, then you've drawn aggro. You've drawn aggro of both the goalie and the midfielder, and that gives your midfielder room to breathe and come up and continue the offense, right?
Okay.
So if your midfielder is not like as a brawler, you can be like, okay, my midfielder is not giving me enough opportunities. This sucks. But then the flip side of that is say, okay, I need to generate those opportunities for myself. This happened with Taco in SCPF, I think, where his midfielder was just getting gapped because I think he was off roll. And so it was like it felt really, really impossible to generate any sort of offense. And I was like, well, what was happening was Taco wasn't dribbling enough and generating opportunities for himself. He was kind of still relying on the midfielder to generate the opportunities, and those weren't happening. So that's like a core like mentality to approach with these kinds of matchups. If you feel like your midfielder is not able to get it past the enemy midfielder, you want to like maintain core control in the very rare opportunities you get it, so that you can draw the midfielder out.
Okay.
So let's see what happens here. After you sent it down, was there an opportunity for you to grab it from me? I don't think so. Okay. And then I appropriately. Okay, so there you're trying to grab control from me and kind of trying to reposition. I actually think this is a bit of a mistake. And the reason why is just because the long wind-up time allows me to react to it.
Okay.
I'm the one in control here, so I get to decide this on my terms, and I'm like, you're coming for me. I'm gonna dribble vertically again, so that then by the time your thing's done, I'm out of that stun range. You see, and this is still in my control. You don't get enough value out of this because of the long wind-up. You would actually get more value out of this just walking back. Then you could hold on to yourself. Then the other thing is, I know that when I'm in control like this, I'm forcing panic, so I can just decide this on my. Then your midfielder is going to panic because they feel like they need to get control from me, and I just will always strike second. Then I think this one, they probably said you were too far back. Here, there's no way you're gonna get it, so you
Yeah.
should just stay up. Oh yeah, this is something I learned also as midfielder. Was like, as the core is moving past you, you ask yourself, is there an opportunity for me to get it? If there's no opportunity for you to get it at all, then you immediately stop moving back.
Okay.
So like it's okay to move with it like as it's going, and then once you see like, oh, he uses ult, there's no chance for me to get it, then you should immediately stop moving, basically, and then start moving up, because it's like either the goalie's gonna get it or it's going in. There's nothing you can do here. I think even Zentaro ult wouldn't be able to save it. You don't have enough dash range to save it.
Okay.
Okay, so here, you aim it directly at Taco.
Yeah.
Even though the outcome wouldn't have mattered, I would have preferred a more vertical dribble. Actually, were you gonna try to use your ability afterwards? Then you're fine.
I don't know. Where's
I would
my?
think
Can
you.
you see my mouse on there or no? Oh, it's way over there.
Yeah, you were probably gonna try to use your primary afterwards.
Okay.
You're probably okay. Could you have stayed closer to the edge here?
Should I have? Is that what you said?
That's what I'm wondering.
I think I just assumed that Taco was gonna pass to you there or down to Julie, so I probably should have based on where my teammates are.
No, I think you're actually right. Because the thing is, if it goes along here and it gets to Graham's in control.
Okay.
So in this way, versus if he passes to me, then I'm in control. You want to start moving towards blocking that,
Okay.
which I think maybe would have meant that you should have moved diagonally instead of vertically here.
Okay.
You would have moved towards the in between of me and I just pointed at my screen like a dumbass. Towards the in between of Taco and me, and also because you're moving diagonally here, you might have had a chance to grab the core.
Yeah.
Because you would still be. Okay, I use my secondary to wrestle control from you here. I get it around you. It's just. Oh yeah, okay. So right here, I know that if I strike early, I will win.
Yeah.
I will win because
So I can't reach
I'm
it.
closer to. Yeah, so you have to just be patient and hold on to your strike. You do it
Mhm.
later in the VOD, which then I comment on and I say, "Oh, CNDD, you can't do that," because I was upset. But you have to know like when there's no chance of you winning the strike for here, so you have to hold on to it, expecting my dribble,
Okay.
and then that'll allow you to win it. So actually, that's me just dribbling poorly. Oh no, that's you. That's you grabbing it from me. Because I did it. I did a poor job of it. Yeah, that's good. This is good. And then you do a good dribble here. Then yep, good. Except a little. You need
Yeah,
a little bit more
I lost
verticality
it
on the
there.
dribble. So in general, I always think a vertical dribble is safer than a more angled dribble. So whenever you dribble, you should always be like err on the side of slightly more vertical, because it'll always give you more optionality. I
Mhm.
think people are afraid of dribbling vertically because they don't want to be perceived as over dribbling. I think that's fake. I think over dribbling is fine. The only time I think over dribbling is bad is if you burn all your abilities to do it, or if you are doing it in a 3v2 situation. Otherwise,
Oh yeah.
I generally think just dribbling a lot is fine. You lose it here, and then you throw out an ability to try to salvage the situation.
I think I
you
had that
kinda
if I passived earlier though. Because if I passive
if you
immediately here, I think I hit the core, but I did it a little too late. Because you see, I walked
oh,
back
because you couldn't
first.
react in time. Oh, I see.
'Cause that was my plan was to
Yeah.
passive that. I was just
Oh,
too
okay.
slow.
Oh, yeah, you were close. Yeah, I like the idea. I think that's fine. Okay, so then here's what
Yeah.
happens.
That
You are like, I'm guessing you're like, "Ah, shit, I botched that," and then you just throw out your ability.
yeah. Yep.
That's very common. That's a super common like instinct.
This is me dash punching, but as Zentaro where you can't dash punch.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Exactly. Also, I think there are moments where you like try to play for damage. You have to identify it. Like with Juliet, that's kind of always your gameplay plan
Yeah.
is to try to go for KOs. With Zentaro, you kind of waffle between the two until you figure out which one you've committed to. In this game, you ended up committing, well, not maybe by choice, but you ended up with more of a core control build. So you needed to play more to that instead of towards damage. So that's a part of playing Zentaro is kind of identifying which one is gonna play, which one are you more leaned towards, because you can do either.
Yeah.
If you get perfect form, then you get everything. In this game, I think you had stacks, which like is much more inclined towards core control play. So you should like turn off the damage part of your brain for Zentaro if you have a core control build.
Honestly, our team comp is more core control anyway, and our team preference for the most part
Is also core control.
Yeah.
Mm.
We rarely center towards damage comps.
Yeah, it's that makes sense. I think that's the more common style of play anyway. Okay, this is a good interaction just to look at. So ZZ's is doing some good stuff with like vertical dribbling, trying to like make sure I don't have control of it here. Yeah, that's great. And then here's the thing. Now I'm forced to you're trying to go early. So oh man. Okay. In general, this is just a be patient. Gotta play patient. Kind of situation.
Honestly, I think if anything, ZZ's has that because they're walking with the core, and both of you have to go interrupt that. So I probably should have not interrupted.
Hmm.
Because like ZZ's has her
Oh, actually, you
speed
know,
buff, and she can just walk through Juliet with it.
there is. Oh, you have no abilities either.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think you are correct that you let ZZs have this. The other option is a little like pointer. Do a little pointer.
Maybe
Can you see
send
my
it.
mouse?
I could before it. I don't now.
Okay. What about
Yeah,
now?
I see that.
Okay. The other option is to send it this way.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're right that letting ZZs have this and just try to let her maintain the control here is the right play. Oh, right here. Okay, yeah. So this is an example where you need to vertical dribble. I
Yep.
remember seeing this and I was like, you just toss
Yeah.
it right over to Taco. I think this is a very common Juliet instinct because when I play Juliet, I find myself doing this inadvertently because it's really hard to maintain your thought process on both KOing and on core control. So you just toss the core so that you can go back to thinking about how to KO. So I think this might be like a little bit ingrained here. It's also because you're worried because the core is going faster than you. You're not going to be able to maintain control, right? This is where a vertical dribble is perfect because what you do is you dribble straight up into this, and then you walk with the core as it comes this way. And then the other thing is like it'll be you plus ZZs against me on that interaction.
Okay.
And then because of like you know that like you're so in a way you're kind of at strike disadvantage even though the core is coming at you from the left because the core is going too fast. So you need to get control in some way. So like ask yourself, which way can I send this to gain control? You send it down, I'm too close. If you send it in any of this direction, it goes to us. And if you send it backwards, it goes to Xenockz. So the only option to you is actually to go straight up. And if you go straight up, then it will bounce back in this direction. You'll have more time to recover it, and ZZ's is there as well. So this is so, like vertical dribble is the theme I'm trying to point at here. Is like there's a lot of opportunities for that brawlers usually don't identify, because it's not quite as emphasized for brawlers as they're climbing ranks.
Okay.
So like you see how like a vertical dribble ended up being very useful here.
Yeah, and there's the primary that does nothing.
Because you miss a strike and then you send out an ability because you missed the strike, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see what you can do instead here. Right? Okay. I'm setting up like a strike advantage for me here. And then that forces you to react here. Do this. And then, yeah. So the issue here is once I've won that interaction against you, it's actually on ZZ's here to like...
Yeah.
Actually, it's not even on ZZ's. ZZ's has the right idea to try to KO Xenockz here. Graham needs to rotate down. Which he does a little bit too late. I think, yeah, like when I was watching your VOD review, Ramen was like, there's not much you can do. Maybe Graham could have hit up. It would have still got caught by my ult.
Yeah, I thought that too when he said that, because it's a
yeah,
ult.
I disagreed with Ramen there. I think that the actual play here was like when this interaction happened, like Graham needed to note sooner that you had lost it and rotate down faster. But yeah, I think like just identifying what you can do, because this coaching session is about you. It's again kind of that theme of after missing a strike, don't immediately throw out an ability. It's a very common I'm sure actually if you look at my play here, you'll see me do that sometimes too. So we don't do the proper Oni village formation for a while here. See what you're doing. I use my secondary and wrestle core control from you. That sucks. There's something you can do. I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, not much you can do there. Oh, okay. Dribble. More vertical dribble would work here again. So,
even if you shoot it there, I can just react to that, right?
Exactly, yeah. Because I shoot it, it'll bounce off here, and then it'll go back to... He's like, you're chasing a little bit too far because you realize you've lost control of the dribble.
Okay.
If you had done a more vertical dribble, you would have followed the core tighter. You would have been here instead, because you would dribble it up there. I would hit it with my primary, which would accomplish nothing, because it would just bounce right back off into you, and you'd still have control. So, more vertical dribble. Again, part of that theme. Now, that is just because Xenockz is a fiend.
I took a lot of damage there too. I
Yeah,
stepped into the end of the ult at the start, and then you shifted into me, and I walked into the right click. It just got hit by everything.
Yeah, so like this kind of like if you had dribbled instead, like closer, you wouldn't have gotten hit by my primary because you wouldn't have been chasing.
Mm-hmm. And I probably wouldn't be in position to die either.
Exactly, yeah. So then you wouldn't be in like low damage, and then Xenockz wouldn't be able to follow up here. Yeah, so vertical dribble would have solved that.
Even as you point out where vertical dribble works, my instinct is still like, but he's gonna shoot it. I don't wanna dribble it into my enemies, but I just need to practice it. I think get used to dribble it, walk with it, react.
Yeah, you react because when you vertical dribble, force the enemies to respond. Like you're kind of saying, "Come at me," and they're gonna do it. And the way they're gonna do it is they're gonna burn abilities. And even if they did it and they got control, you forced their ability out just to get control from you, not to like attempt to take a barrier. That's still a win. Okay. I think that's an important way to think about. That's an important way to think about it, because like as a brawler, you lose a lot of interactions. But the key part of it is when you lose the interaction, you still need to come out on top in some way. And the best way that happens is that you force your opponents to burn abilities, and all you burned was strike. And then the next time the core gets to you, you now have ability advantage. And so like you forcing my primary out there. Actually, did I have prime time? So then it didn't matter. Oh wait, no. So let's say right here, you dribbled, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the core, and I hit the core, and then you got the ability back. I got basically no value out of my primary.
Yep.
Right. With this situation, I did get value out of the primary because it led to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you do vertical dribbles, you often reduce the value that your enemy gets out of their ability. Let's skip ahead to. You'll respawn. Okay. Oh, look at this interaction. What direction were you trying to hit?
I was hitting straight to Z's, kind of to Graham, I think, but if I had just waited a millisecond longer, I would have won that.
I don't think that's actually this. I think you're fine here. If you were just trying to hit disease, it's chill. You were at a strike disadvantage, so it was kind of obviously the best case scenario is it gets disease, but it doesn't. But that's fine because like what you have to do is you have to contest it anyway, and your team's gonna get it, so it doesn't matter. Fine. But this is one to look at.
I called that out when I did it. I know why it's wrong. I know what happens.
Crossing against Estelle.
Yep.
Moving it towards your own barrier. Yeah, you're good. You know. And then you do the thing where you realize you made a mistake and then you toss out an ability.
Yep.
Oh, let's go to that intro. You have the right idea? You did. Okay, that's good. You just need to do it sooner before the core overlaps with my box. So this was something that I taught THoHT, which is as the core is coming at you from the left, it's often very advantageous to strike early. Because there's two options here, right? You can either try to win the strike war with strike advantage, which is like you walk with the core and then you react to me contesting it.
Mm-hmm.
Your other option is to just generate the advantage yourself by striking early before the core even hits their box. Because what's going to happen, this is the mind control, is that as the core is moving in this way, you know the enemy feels an impetus to strike. If you strike early, they're almost always going to strike, but you striking early means that it's going to be out of their hitbox.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So then if you do a vertical dribble here, either down or up, because Xenockz is not in position to get it. If you do a vertical dribble either down or up, you win the interaction. Because I will strike and I'll be like, oh fuck, I missed. And then when I miss, I'm gonna toss an ability out because that's just how the mind works, right?
Yeah.
And then when that happens, you have now burned. You've won the interaction. You forced an ability out of me, and you've set the core in the direction you wanted. So I think trying in general, when this kind of situation arises, core is coming at you from the left, and then striking early, you will bait out so many strikes from people, and you will win so many interactions by adding that to your arsenal. You can do there. Yeah, okay. Okay. Drafting, I think you all were generally pretty good at drafting. Skip through it. Oh yeah. Cold Ramen disagreed with a couple of my takes, which I think is fair. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
He also doesn't like that I took Slick.
Yeah, I was gonna say I almost messaged you because every single game we loaded into, they're like, "Yeah, Moorah should not be taking slicks ever." And you took it every time.
Yeah, they were always saying that. I'm a Slick Kicks enjoyer, and I think it's fair critique. It took me a while to get used to liking balls. I figured with the nerf from 2 seconds to 1.25 that Slick Kicks would come back into favor. Everyone's still saying no, it's Maxwell, always Maxwell's. I don't know how much I agree with that, but
Me too, actually.
yeah,
I
when
go ahead.
go on.
Oh. Well, I think that for in like an even match game, Mag Souls is just easier to get consistently, and if the midfielder is always playing near the midfield line, I think it just makes sense that it's better. But I think it's either way for Brawler. But I do love me some slick kicks.
I think slick kicks also works really well if you're dribbling a lot,
Yeah.
which is the playstyle that I try to go for. Right? If you look at the end of the game, the end screen, I have like twice the redirects of anyone in the lobby.
Yeah.
And that's because like I'm using the dribbles to just maintain core control. And with slick kicks, you just have that infinitely. Here, I'm not going to critique kickoff because I'm not a kickoff knower. Oh, and then I quangle you.
You sure do.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
It's not,
I've been there myself. It's pretty fun on Estelle.
it's something I've been trying to practice and get better at because it's important to like make your enemy hear the edge like that. Is there something you could have done?
Um
Technically
yeah,
you could have
right there.
evaded.
I think I was holding after getting hit, I
There,
don't think I expected you to go for it. And I might have
yeah,
stubbed my toe in it, or if I don't, I could have elusived
it's right. There's like
right
that
there.
frame. Two frames where you could have evaded. I don't think that's really worth like critiquing. It's just sort of a respect the edges similar to like Juliet.
Yeah.
But normally against Estelles you don't need to, and so that's why it's important for me to learn that skill so that I can instill that kind of fear. Back past the taco here, you're back up. So yeah,
If that's
this
staggered,
one,
I think it kills.
yeah,
Juliet.
is there
But it doesn't.
Is primary into secondary a kill confirm on Zentaro? I don't
Only
actually
if it staggers.
only staggered.
So that
Because
leaves her with 1 HP. And it
oh,
doesn't.
you got so unlucky.
So then it doesn't confirm. The only real confirm for killing stagger, I think, is the passive into secondary or primary.
Yeah. Passive in the secondary, yeah. I remember Alpha Me teaching.
But also Xenockz doesn't have energy to evade if it wasn't, and this is also unfortunate because Graham wasn't ready for the ult.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
probably shouldn't
that's
have
another
ulted there.
instance. That's another instance of a more vertical dribble. Would be better. Here,
Who is that? Oh, this, yeah.
yeah. Instead, just do a more vertical dribble. Set yourself up closer to the edge here, and then strike primary in.
Okay.
Because you lose control here, and then you're like, let me salvage it with the primary, and then Taco's just like, oh, I'm good. So the other thing is, okay, let's say you vertical dribbled my primary, which admittedly not a great one here. If you had vertical dribbled and I primaried, you would maintain control, right? You'd be able to react to my primary, keep control. So vertical dribble again.
Okay.
Oh, that's Xenockz doing the classic. Lose control, throw out an ability, right? There, right there. Yep. Lose control, throw out an ability. Okay, here. So here you have you have strike advantage until the core gets too fast. So that's why I walk with it until it gets out. Now I got lucky because you totally could have responded. Yeah, I think I just kind of reaction checked you. I think the actual proper play here from me, the real proper play is to back pass to Taco. Like just immediately get it out of your control. But so that's actually the truly correct. See what you can do. So I think you're going into the right spot here. He's needed to respond afterwards with a strike here, and ideally a dribble down that then passes to you. Did not happen. Oh, and then here. So
Yeah.
here, this I remember identifying. I was like, this is one of those instances where you hold yourself. Oh, I need to reposition. That's I think what you're saying is because you're like, I'm caught out and I'm not blocking the pass between Taco and Moorah.
In
Um,
this instance, I thought that ZZ's had control, and I was expecting ZZ's to hit it up there, and I would hit the core with this dash.
oh, I see.
And you interrupted ZZ's, took the core. So it's I was surprised when you mentioned that because I don't think I use his secondary to reposition often, but I see how it
Yeah,
looks like that, and it
it
is
looks like you're trying
kind
to
of like that.
reposition here. Yeah, because actually for that, let's say ZZ's does hit it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's say ZZ's in control here, and then she passes to you. You would have been able to get to it even if you walked. Because again, Zentaro's secondary has so long of a
Okay.
cooldown that I think you would have made it even if you walked.
Okay. Juliet Classic.
Also, how much time did you have to respond to that? So let's say right now you think ZZ's is in control.
Which she's
then,
using her
right-
haste, so she is.
Yeah. She is. Yeah, she is. Then I use an ability because she used her haste, so I'm trying to get back into control.
Yeah.
You had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah, like 10
9,
frames.
10 frames. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a boomer. I wouldn't critique it too much. My reactions are very bad, so I'm like, I think.
But no, I think what you're saying is correct because I am down there, I'm not where I should be in front of Dubu and the core, and I am using the
Right.
secondary to try and catch the core or Dubu.
Let's see how that arose though.
Because like right here, I
This-
shouldn't probably. I don't know.
Yeah, so here's what you're doing is you're core chasing a bit. Get
Yeah.
out of position at this moment when you're starting to move down in this. You should maintain the line between me and Taco.
Mhm.
And then at that point now you're too far out.
Yep. So yeah, that's completely fair.
You all are also learning the formation.
Yeah, Graham never picks a barrier and sometimes surprises us by switching mid game. So
I do like that. So when I was watching your VODs, I do like that at least it sounds like everyone is receptive to coaching, which is important.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm super surprised at Graham's improvement already, even after just a couple weeks.
Graham does seem to use a little bit of copium, but that's okay. We all have a bit of copium.
True.
Alright, so let's see what you do here. You're maintaining the line between me and Xenockz. That's fine. It means Taco's gonna pass to Xenockz here, right? Nope. Yep, he does. Okay, so this is you being anticipation instead of reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, let's say that you reacted. I know it's because Zentaro has a bit of startup time here. Let's say you don't use your ability and Taco sends it in that direction. What happens? ZZ's got it. So I think this is just a wasted ability. You're not getting value out of it.
Okay. Yeah, that's makes sense.
A common framework for evaluating whether ability usage was good is to ask yourself what the outcome is if you didn't use the ability. And then like and the core goes where you were anticipating it for the purpose of that ability. In this case, I think you all are you're fine. So then because ZZ's is gonna catch it if Taco sends it in that direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
ZZ's then contests me right here. So I think this is like in the theme of ability usage, of like overusing abilities in different ways. Some of it times it's because you're anticipating. Sometimes it's because like you miss a strike and then your like reaction is ability. All right. So then here, Xenockz just gets a really good pass. Which could you have blocked it?
I feel like I can.
Yeah. So what happens is I'm moving out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm moving out and you're moving down. You have to like mirror my movement here to Oh, then you move forward.
Yeah.
Is it because you think ZZ's will catch? ZZ's was not gonna catch it. Oh, this is like just a micro positioning thing. Is like maintain the through line. I'm really bad at this, if I'm honest. I'm very bad at blocking the pass. That's why my nickname is Moo. I need to block the pass raw. It's
Okay.
because I say it all the damn time when I fail to block the pass, and then Fox makes fun. So
Fair
like,
enough.
it's kind of rich me critiquing that, but it is
No, that's fair.
okay. So here, actually, this is an instance of me messing up. So after I do that, hit the barrier, I should have either passed to Xenockz or vertical dribbled here. A vertical dribble would be fine as well, because it would have me or Xenockz in.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I don't do that, and then look at that. ZZ's gets control from me. So that's like an instance of, oh, but she got unlucky. She got unlucky. Because if this other one didn't hit, then you would have had control. But because it hit, then I got to keep control. Oh, that's unlucky. Okay, so let's look at... Okay. Would you have done anything on your action? The main thing I would think is a micro movement. Instead of moving in this direction,
Mm-hmm.
you want to move in this direction. Because you know that I'm going to try to keep it more forward.
Yeah.
So it's not going to go in this in that direction. If so, that's sort of like maintaining the line too. Now, technically, that's on Z's to do that. I think after she hits it here, right, grabs it, and then what she should be doing is moving to block this here. But I also get it as a midfielder. Sometimes it's hard. You want to grab the edge. Okay, so Graham misses it. Okay, let's see what you do here. So you're trying to grab control here because you're realizing that you're not going to be able to get control.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually okay in a world where THoHT doesn't have I don't like it. The reason why is because you need to have ability advantage against THoHT. And like when
Okay.
you're doing this, it's just so that you can gain control.
Yeah.
It does end up grabbing the core, but it doesn't really do much. Yeah. Now, can't use like post facto reasoning. But let's try to see if there's like an alternative. So instead of that, let's say you just walk down.
Oh yeah. No, I see that already. Because
Yeah.
of the positioning, ZZ's has all of that angle.
Yeah.
And I can
And
just
let's
be
say
in between
also
you two.
instead of walking down, yeah, you go in between THoHT and like you just stay right where you are. You just stand right here. Because you're blocking the THoHT to Xenockz pass.
Mm-hmm.
And then like let's say that you respond to THoHT passing to me, you kind of want to be like right here because you have ZZs over here. So the ability usage here is not okay. So what ZZs should have done here was core flip up here because it would go
That's
do and then it
Graham's
would
core flip.
that's Graham's core flip. Oh, it is Graham's core flip. Okay. Well, yeah. The better one. Well, I'm here to block that. Great. Not a great situation.
But
I'd say
clear
you're a
straight
little.
down, I think maybe, right?
Yeah, that's what you were there for, right? You're there for the clear straight down. I think he's worried about that because I'm Estelle with missile prop. Yeah, I think he's worried about that because I'm Estelle with missile prop. Do I have ult? Probably do.
Probably, yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's one thing to know. If you you should also think about your teammates' mentality because no, Graham's gonna be really nervous about crossing against an Estelle. So that also means that when you're down there, you might end up either baiting it or never getting the core because your teammates' mentality is gonna be never cross on an Estelle, never cross on an Estelle, and that's honestly pretty fair.
Yeah, that's your ult.
Oh, I had
right
just
there.
used it. I just used it. Oh yeah. So if
He
you
might
had
not have
called,
even seen it though, because I ate most of it.
he did eat a lot of it. Yeah, because I actually thought that what might happen is Xenockz would get it through, and then it was gonna like area here. So I thought, but then you core flip. Oh yeah, he probably didn't see it. Andy was probably too busy thinking about the core flip.
Hmm.
But then that actually means your positioning is fine because you're trying to get the out clear. And then he does it. Yeah. There we go. A little late. Oh, let's look at this. You're worried about me with core flip. That's fair. Okay. So instead of that, what could have happened?
I
I actually think you're fine because you're lining this up with a secondary, right? Yeah, that's good. No, I think that's right. And I think the only reason why it's right though is because I have core flip.
okay.
If I didn't have core flip, you would want a vertical dribble and then move up and then like start your core control. But since I have core flip, you kind of have to figure out a way to stun me so that I can't get value out of it. Yeah. Then grab it. Yeah, that's great. Oh, and then you force the core flip out of me. Yeah, this was good.
Taco had a question that we didn't see in time.
You hit the core with the dash. What happens after?
I think that was back when I assumed ZZ's would top clear around 2 FriendlyTaco and I tried to interrupt and it would just hit the dash, basically bouncing it directly back to me, almost exactly on top of Taco. Okay.
Oh, we ended up talking about it? Okay.
All good.
Okay.
Wait, give me 1 second, real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, sorry, I'm back.
You're good. Yeah, you force the core flip out of me through the stunning, through the secondary lineups. So that's good. Okay, and then you use your passive here because you're. Yep, you catch that. That's really good. I like this. I like all of this. I don't know what I'm doing trying to fix that, honestly.
I think you made me react to that. I don't know if I normally passive like that there.
No, I think you did it out of anticipation for Taco to try to clear, right?
Maybe.
But Taco was patient. Then, oh man, what a patient guy! Wow, so patient. Oh, unlucky. I think that yeah. So like, that I I think the passive here is because of right. You're anticipating Taco just striking on auto reflex, sort of. And then
Perhaps.
like if he strikes down here, then you'll get it and it'll go that way. That was just yeah, ZZ's needed to block that. See what you're doing here? Okay, you got hit by the log. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Oh, good
Reach
log
for
from
it.
oh, and then there it is. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you throw out an ability because you miss a strike. Yeah. There you just kind of have to accept. And then like the other thing with abilities like that, it doesn't really lock you, but oh,
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's not important.
the elusive.
Yeah, that's not important.
Yeah. So this is actually something Sea to Stars does too, which is use elusive after all the abilities have been dumped on you.
Honestly, it buffers a lot of the time. But
that is true.
I don't think I can even elusive in the middle of my ability anyway, so I shouldn't be trying to do that.
Oh, that's what you were doing. You were trying to elusive during my primary, and
yeah, and then it just happens afterwards because this game is really cool.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, that's Xenockz. Okay, so nice elusive. Your job should be to try to stay in the center right here, which
Mhm.
you're doing. But then what you do is you try to follow up.
Yeah.
I think this is too greedy. Because of how low you are.
It's too tempting because FriendlyTaco
It's so
finally doesn't have
tempting.
abilities.
It's
Finally
so
used them
tempting.
all.
I know it's tempting, but like you end up getting heavily punished for it. So more vertical dribble there from ZZ's again.
Mhm.
The answer is always more vertical dribble
That's crazy.
because she ends up losing control. Then if she had done a more vertical dribble, she would have kept it. I'm a vertical dribble peddler. If it hasn't been made clear. Okay, let's look at that interaction. Hold on. Right here. Micro movement.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just a micro movement issue. But this is another situation where if you have the right mentality of the core is coming at me from the left. If I strike it early, I will win the strike war. Or I will win the interaction because I will mind control the enemy to strike before the core hits their strike box. So
Yep.
let's say that you had gone into this with that mentality. Then you move up to the core because it's coming at you from the left, and then
Yeah,
you just vertical dribble
down.
straight down. Yeah, and you do it early, and then look at how Xenockz strikes it. Right?
Yeah.
He strikes. It would have been out of his strike box. You would have mind controlled him. He would have then thrown out an ability because he's upset. Like it all snowballs from there. Like you just do that one.
Honestly,
one
how
trick.
did he strike that from here?
Core
That's
strikers
crazy.
hate this one trick. Yeah, it is kind of weird that he managed to get that. Oh, it's because it was like one
Yep,
extra.
got it. Yep.
The linger, right? Yeah, the linger. Yeah, but if you had
Yeah.
approached it and said, "I'm gonna strike early, and I'm gonna strike early with a vertical dribble down," oh man, then you're in business.
Yep.
Because the other way that works is okay. Let's say you strike vertically, then it comes back up, and now it's a strike war between you and Xenockz. The thing is that you know they're gonna strike off cooldown because you dribbled. It's just how it works. That's just how people operate. You just delay your dribble after the vertical dribble. You do a vertical dribble when it comes back up into a strike war. You just wait because they're gonna strike off cooldown, and then you're going to get it. And then it's actually it's so funny watching it happen. Okay, so let's see. This is you being like, I lost control. Let me try to like get some extra control. Right? I stunned you. You were like, oh no, I lost control, and then you threw out an ability. So this is ability usage because you feel like you lost control. But like, let's say you didn't do it. You just keep walking. Oh yeah, this was good. This was good. So like, I'm at. Oh, I just failed. I failed the strike war, man. I failed the strike. Okay, and then because I'm on cooldown, yeah, because I'm on cooldown, you need to start striking early and getting control, which is what you do, right? Strike early. I'm still on cooldown for my strike, and then use your ult in the corner, grab the extra barrier. Great. Okay, right here. This is, and let me guess, use your secondary afterwards. Oh no, you don't. Okay, if you use your secondary afterwards, then it's excusable because what you're actually trying to do is line up your yeah, but you don't. Instead, you just toss control because you're kind of, it's moving too fast. Things you're probably a little mental like woo, and so you're like, all right, let's toss control. Whenever you feel that instinct of, oh my gosh, it's too much, the answer is vertical dribble. Vertical dribble will buy you time, and then you can like recollect your thoughts.
Yep.
So in this instance, what you can do is you can vertical dribble and then follow the core up afterward.
So I do want to say one thing as well. Kind of my perspective on dribbling, which I do sometimes, is it has been that a good enemy midfielder will punish me for doing so, and it's super helpful to see how many scenarios where like against an Estelle, even with Estelle abilities, I'm not being punished for it, and I'm baiting out abilities without using my own.
baiting
that-
out abilities is always value.
Yeah,
That's
that-
how. Yeah.
it changes perspective immensely already. Just seeing those few opportunities, which are probably many more in our next games too.
Yeah, and there's technically another one that works, which is you could back pass to Z's here and have Z set it up. But like again, I think there's like a strong mentality of I'm the brawler. If I maintain control, I'm winning. And the reason why that also works is because if you maintain control, you give Z's enough time to say move up. You give Z's the ability to not use her abilities. Because what might happen, let's say you back pass, she might use abilities, and then it's like, what are you doing? So it allows you to have as much agency on the game as possible, the more you can maintain control. This is a very egoist way of playing.
Yeah.
But this is how both like me and Taco have kind of converged on like at least in our elo, this is what works really well. I do think that like thinking about the back pass disease here is also very valid. I think Taco and I were playing with who was it? Ultra Dre, and Ultra Dre was doing back passes to me, and it was like insanely effective. And I was like, holy shit, is this what it's actually like to play with like a brawler who knows how back passes work and all that? But like, you also have to factor in how likely it is that your midfielder will get will lose the interaction to the enemy midfielder. So that's why I think like in general, egoing control the core as a brawler is totally fine. You can vertical dribble here, follow the core. Z's will follow it as well, and you can set up that interaction as you wait for these barriers to open. Okay, let's keep going. Yep, so this is great from Graham. I really like that clear. That is not as great because
Yeah.
you want to vertical dribble away from your barrier.
Yeah.
Alright, so then you move back. Correct? Yeah, I think that's what you're doing. Okay, great dribble, maintaining control. Yeah, so there it's a micro movement issue, which is just like that after you do your vertical dribble, you still want to set your positioning up to win the strike war as best as. It's like right in this moment as you're moving up, you actually just need to like overlap your hitbox with the core a bit better.
Okay.
The more overlap you have with the core here, the better. Because it'll give you the best opportunity for winning the strike war.
Maximize the time that I'm on top of the score. The amount of time I can strike. All of
And
that.
give me the fewest angles that take it out of your strike overlap. Because what I see here when I'm coming up on this is I'm like, he's moving in this direction. I will win the interaction if I can get it in down this way, because it'll get out of its strike box, and that's what I do, right?
Yeah.
So. And then you use an ability, right? Because you're like,
yeah.
I missed the strike war. I missed the strike war. So this is like super common. Yeah, it's
hit him because
he
won the strike war.
Exactly, but like I do it too. Everyone does it, so it's a normal reaction. You just have to like be aware of it, and you'll start to do it less, and then you'll have your ability advantage more often, and then you'll find yourself winning interactions more often just because you have your abilities up. Let's skip draft. Oh yeah, he disagreed with me taking agility here, and he said I should take stacks. I kind of agree. I wanted to take stacks, but I also wanted to take agility, and I was like, I think the main reason I take stacks here is because it's a stronger deny for me to take the stacks than for me to leave agility up than for me to take agility and leave stacks up. But I was like, but I want to be the mayor, so I took agility.
Yeah, that's not happening.
You taking stacks was correct here. This was. Oh, I think Siege Machine was wrong.
They think
they
it's drive, right?
Cold ramen room. Cold ramen. Yeah, it's twin drive for Mako.
I think that is what they said.
Yeah, that's what Cold ramen said, because like twin drive on Mako is just so powerful. And also just as a goalie, the best thing to have is to have just like infinite charges of your abilities, because again, it's all about ability advantage. You like as a goalie, you want to have ability advantage up as for you as
Yeah.
much as possible, because goalie abilities are set up to win in trades, right? They're set up to win trades. So if you just have your abilities up all the time, then you win the trade.
I've always
So
been
as a
preaching
goalie
hot shot
drafting,
Atlas or hot shot any goalie, honestly.
right? Exactly. As a goalie, your objective should be to set it up so that you have as many abilities as possible, so you always have an ability advantage. And that's why as a brawler, your objective is to get rid of that ability advantage by dribbling, because then you trade your strike cooldown for their ability, and then you generate an ability advantage that way. Okay. I actually like that primary, because if it had hit me, you get great value out of it. In a way, what you're doing here is a vertical dribble, but also hitting me with your primary, so you're getting extra value. This is good. The secondary afterwards is because you were trying to dash punch me.
A little bit.
I think that's fair, because in the event that you had actually sweet spotted me here, I think that kills. But it's also not a confirm, right?
No.
I think it's fair.
I need to stop going for it, but it works sometimes, so.
And then you get rewarded, and then like
and then
Pavlov, you're like,
my
"Oh,
brain's
baby."
like, ooh, but what if? What if I kill him there?
I think that's fair, honestly. I'm not gonna harsh you too much for that. I
know
do
it's
think
wrong.
I do like the primary usage here, but not from the perspective of I'm gonna dash punch.
Yeah.
If you use the primary thinking I'm using this to get value by hitting both the core and the enemy, then that's great. That's good ability.
And then I guess I get my passive there, so I don't love that, but it is still core control.
Let's look at your passive usage here.
So I think I use it to just get rid of it, honestly, right here.
I don't think that's the way to do it. I actually think there's another possible outcome here.
Okay.
Which is straight down with a vertical dribble. So what you would do is you would use your passive straight down, and then that would knock it into this here, and now you're in control. The only problem is these used her primary, but then you don't get that option.
I think I lose the core if I do that. Because it dashes me down. You see the ring, it dashes me closer to the ledge, and that is my strike cooldown.
Oh, that gets you all the way to the ledge?
Well, not quite, but maybe not.
Because that ring is the outer edge of the
projectile.
passive. Oh, the distance you move is actually not that far.
Okay, so if I dash there, it puts me above the speed bar, and I just immediately walk up.
Right? Yeah, and what's also gonna happen is me and Xenockz are not gonna react to the fact that you do that. I guarantee you. We're focusing on the fact that the core is going in this.
Yeah.
If Z's didn't use her primary, you have an opportunity for a vertical. You use your passive here, and then follow the core up, and oh baby, it would look so clean. It would look amazing. It's a way of generating more value from your ability, your passive here.
I see it.
Let's.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm fully understanding. If I do have a dash increase, then I do lose that dribble.
Yeah. You do lose that. Like Zentaro ability usage is also funky because the way you use it changes with the dash increase immensely. Right, like all the secondary repositioning that's real once you have a dash away. Right, you can use it for repositioning, and it actually generates value. So,
okay.
Here, I think there is a world where what you want to do, so there's two schools of thought here, right? What you could do is you could have Z's back pass to Graham. You're up here, and then Graham passes out to you, and you're standing up here, right? The other option is that you are down here, and you're kind of hovering me. And then you count on Z's to win the interaction, and then you have to win the interaction against me. Right? Those are kind of the two possibilities.
Yep.
You are angling for the one where you're up here. And your team is angling for the one where you're down here and testing me. You'll see that in this play out, right?
Yeah. Where I just move up.
I guess it worked out in the end, where they kind of caught on to your course. Let's see, right? So at first they
Yeah.
do that. Then because you're up there, I think Z sees that that's the option, and then you're good. But you know what? Good stuff. Because I think that this is a totally viable way to get the core out. It makes it so that it doesn't force an interaction between me and you, right? You just get control. So this is
Mhm.
actually like ideal.
And I
Let's say
think
that you
I was gonna say I think Juliet uses abilities there as well, so Z's knows that's pretty safe. Because that is Juliet's ult.
Yep.
Is that true?
Let's
No,
see right here.
she still has dash
No,
punch.
but Xenockz is just impatient. Xenockz is
Okay.
not patient with his strikes. So the other thing, I think my ult got used though, right? That's another thing. Like right here. Oh no, my primary got used. Yeah. So Z's knows that my primary is not gonna go through, and Xenock's ult is not gonna go through. So this is pretty safe.
Okay.
Maybe if I send out my ult, but Graham's here. This is a very safe out clear. So you being here is good. And then you do it. You do the thing. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
You do the vertical dribble up, and then do you see me? You see me
Yeah.
miss my strike, right? So this is the power of it. Like it works if you're doing it, and then
So I think
and
I
then
should
you
just
kind
walk
of
down there probably instead
you
of
just walk with it with a primary, and you've won, right? You see how you've just easily won that interaction because you see the core coming at you from the left. You do a vertical dribble. I lose my strike, and then there you go. Yeah. So you kind of waste your ability here. If you had just walked with it and married, you would have had it. Or you would have burned your primary for his primary, and that's a great
Okay.
trade. And then you would have kept your ult. Instead, you trade your ult for his primary, and that's a
Yep.
bad trade. Oh, I remember Taco. Taco. Do you? He didn't trust. He didn't trust because like I have no out here, right?
Yeah.
So when I do this, my only out is up to him.
Yep.
There's one other way I could do it
The
without
diagonal
trusting.
back.
The diagonal back, yeah. That's another option. I could have diagonal backed. Oh. Oh man. Okay, so that's really good from Xenockz. He's walking with the core. He rarely does this, so like yeah. He just needed to walk closer to the core. I don't know why he moved away from it. Oh, actually I know why he moved away from it. Cuz he's looking for a dash punch angle on Graham.
Oh,
That's why
yeah.
he did it. Yeah,
It just dashes at him.
and there he goes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Easy wins the interaction. Let's see what you do here. The answer is more vertical dribble.
I lose that to ult.
Yep. But like, oh wait, you win it. Oh wait, no. Okay, so
If I vertical dribble back a little here, I think I can walk around the ult. I don't know how fast
like
it
think
would
about it
go.
this way. Let's say it gets interrupted by ult. Who
Okay.
cares? You just traded your strike for an ult. That's a
That's
great
fair.
trade.
Yep.
That's a great trade. So yeah, just dribble it.
Okay.
You have no abilities, so you know you're not going to be able to really set something up against Taco. So what do? You bait out abilities. Like this is like kind of a flow chart you can follow. You come up here and you ask, "Do I have abilities?" You say no. You're like, "I don't have ability advantage." So my only option is to try to generate that ability advantage, and the way to do that is to vertical dribble.
Okay.
So dribble down, dribble up. Either one of those works here, but you're not going to be able to get it through Taco because you don't have a.
Taco's got me there.
Yeah, but he got you regardless of if
Oh
you
no,
did.
what he said.
Oh, what did he say?
Brawler mentality. If I only strike, I don't score. Because I used to think the way to maximize like solo queue wins is look at the percentage of times that I get the core to turning that into a barrier or a goal. But this is a team game now, not in solo queue.
I also think like I just always think about things in terms of like generating advantage to strike advantage or ability advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And so then like with that kind of framework, it also then applies to ability usage of, is my ability usage actually generating enough value to where I've like used my ability advantage, or am I just burning it? Oh, so like here, your secondary usage. Oh, you're trying to line it up.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think that's fine. In that case, did you want to still vertical? Like your idea here was like line up the core with a secondary.
Yeah.
I think that's fine, actually. I think that's a fine choice. I would just say consider that there are alternate, alternative. You can do that, or you can vertical dribble.
Yeah.
That vertical dribble is also a totally viable option. Okay, that was good patience from Z's. Just let the Estelle ability happen before striking. Okay, nice. Okay, vertical dribble, great, yeah. Oh, no. So, right here, what you see is you do a vertical dribble, and then I'm gonna come up at you.
Mm-hmm.
You should think the core's here, and the hitbox, I'm over here. So which area are you controlling is up here, right? So what you actually wanted, and your team is out of the picture. But this is a classic example of like, you have control, and you need to treat that moment when you have control like it's precious. Like you have to retain that moment for as long as you can. And like what you did instead was you forced a strike war with strike advantage here, right? But instead, what you can just do is dribble. If you just dribble again, you know that you'll get it because I'm still too far out of the hitbox. So you dribble back up, right? Or you can dribble into this corner too. Either one works. And what that does, it buys you time to get your abilities back up.
Mm-hmm.
It potentially baits out abilities from me or Taco. It gives Graham and Z's opportunity to move up, and all of that just for your strike cooldown. Right? That's why a dribble is so powerful here.
Okay.
And let's say Xenockz moves back in order to grab it from you. That's amazing. You've now drawn all three of them to you. If you become the center of the universe and you're holding the core up here, you've just drawn everyone to you, and that's great. That's great value. So instead of forcing the interaction here, which you end up losing, but also let's say you win it, what happens?
This strike war?
Yeah, let's say you win the strike war instead. What happens?
I mean, knowing the outcome, Taco just clears it. I lose core control.
Exactly. And you've lost that precious moment, like, very fast. So treat that moment when when this kind of thing happens where you just have full reign, you need to be like, I'm an egoist. I'm him. And you need to just, like, take this moment and, like, make it yours. So, like, continuing the vertical dribble, buying time for your abilities, that's the way forward here. Oh, another moment where you... Okay, let's see this one. This is fine. You managed to get it. So right here, you have strike advantage. You have another option. You can walk with it,
dribble.
or you can vertical dribble. Yeah, you can also vertical dribble, because look at the way Taco ends up rolling. If you had vertical dribbled, he would have missed. But like a vertical dribble here is also still very, very powerful, even though it's going for the barrier. Right? Somebody might be like, oh, but it was going for the barrier. Like, how could you take it away from the barrier when it's going for it? A lot of times, a vertical dribble opens up another opportunity for a barrier. So, or for a goal. I think there was a moment that I keep sending to, I send a lot to people about this concept of like, even if the dribble doesn't guarantee the barrier or the core, and let's say there even was like a guaranteed option for the core, or let's say there was a guaranteed option you can actually still open up a higher probability opportunity through a dribble. And because like humans are prone to error, sometimes you still want to just take the like create the higher opportunity or higher probability play is the way. Let me find the example that I always
Okay.
send for.
I'm gonna step out for a moment then.
Yeah.
Good time.
Perfect. Ah, here I found it.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. I sent the images in the chat.
Okay.
So the idea about how dribbling opens up higher probability opportunities. So in this instance where THoHT has the core, he can either go for the straight shot, which like if he goes down to anywhere where Oddnarb is, Oddnarb's gonna catch it. But he has this little angle here, that little angle there where he could have potentially scored, and Oddnarb probably wouldn't have gotten to it. But if you look at that angle, it's really narrow.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the second one, what he actually did was he dribbled on the corner first. When he dribbled on the corner first, this is when the core comes back to him.
Mm-hmm.
And the second picture is what he had afterwards.
Yep.
He has a way wider angle to hit. So this means that yes, the dribble technically wasn't the most optimal play, because the most optimal play is to just literally hit the core into the goal. But that's a lower probability shot. Okay. So if you dribble, sometimes it opens up higher probability shots like the second one, where you're less prone to error and you're more likely to actually score. So that's another way of thinking about the power of a dribble, is that let's say that you're in a position like the one here, where you kind of have to have a pretty high execution here. You have to outstrike THoHT as the core is speeding past you. So you have like a very narrow margin to where you can actually make it work, right?
Yeah.
But let's say you vertical dribble, and then there's quite an opportunity that would end up opening up something for you instead. That might be a higher probability. Let's say that thing that you open up is that THoHT rolls and he completely whiffs because of your dribble. Now you have an even better opportunity at the barrier. So, just an option to think about whenever these moments come up. Oh, you're trying to kill Xenockz? Let's see. See your ability usage here. So he's low. I don't know if it's worth. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth committing ult first though. Like, don't you want to use your lower cooldown options first?
Probably,
THoHT, can you chime in as a brawler? As a brawler, wouldn't you want to use your lower cooldown options first to chip him down?
There was no THoHT.
THoHT's AFK? Oh no, THoHT's here. Can't use as a confirm first. Okay, so I guess Zentaro ult isn't really a confirm, right? So I guess that would suggest
it is. So yeah.
Oh, true. And you'll generate passive with your
anything I hit here, because I'm one hit from getting it. So there are multiple paths, I think.
Yeah.
regardless, I think I should just hit the right click first. But then, I mean, after that, I don't have anything that would guarantee hit him. It's pretty easy to dodge the secondary. But if the right click does confirm, I don't know if it does enough to stagger him here. Then I can passive to finish the stagger and then kill him with ult. But
Yeah.
the decision I made was to hit him with the full ult, hoping that that would stagger him, or bait out the evade, which he does.
Oh,
And
it's
then I go
Ziz.
for
I've also
the same
coached
thing.
Ziz on dribble merchant shit. Okay, so I think in general the safer option would be to do the lower cooldown ability first,
Yeah.
because now you've committed a lot more with
Yeah.
the ult.
I'm gonna do that.
You're just chipping him down, yeah. Oh,
And then that was just. I didn't expect him. I expected him to walk out to avoid it, but don't worry about it. It's whatever.
It's all good. Expecting Xenockz to give a shit.
I mean, multiple times this game, like when I went for stuff against you, you can sidestep it left and right, and Xenockz just takes it to the
He
face.
just tanks it, and then he goes, "How did that kill me?" Oh man, I messed up my combo here, but I was trying to.
I should have taken that orb from Xenockz.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Like I'm in front
Yeah,
of him
so
here.
basically you're hovering Xenockz because you want to kill, but all your abilities are on cooldown. So at that point, you kind of have to accept, that's on somebody else on my team to finish it off.
I'm pretty sure I calmed it here, and then there was a time when Cold Ramen had me. He gave advice to not like go take an orb when I could hover an enemy with no abilities, waiting for an ability, or baiting out an evade. But I don't have any idea
Oh,
what
I
I was
see.
thinking here, because there
No,
was
that's fair.
there was a time when I just like walked away because I had nothing, took an orb, and then I'm basically not playing the game and letting them just kind of chill.
Well, let's see what happens here. I mean, what actually should happen is Z should be mirroring me, because Graham has this. Z isn't gonna do anything by grabbing this. And yeah, I guess you could be up further also to grab the orb from Z, because then you'd also be hovering him. I think you're here trying to take an out clear.
Yeah.
That should be Z's job. And then I stole it from Xenockz anyway.
Oh, that's funny. Crazy.
Like, this is an example of like what we're doing is something your team should do too. Which is when you're low, I think it was in other games, not the Oni Village one. When you're low, you back off, and then your team moves up.
We
That's
have
what me
done
and THoHT
that.
are doing. Okay.
But I mean, I think probably this game isn't the best example of that, because any kills that you guys get are like at full health anyway.
Yeah, dash punch kills. All right, let's see what you do here. Oh, Z's just needed to play patient.
So I just let Z's play that.
So, oh yeah, this is another thing. That the vertical, again, I'm gonna pedal the vertical dribble. Let's say you're going into this strike war, and you're like, okay, I don't know if I can win it. If you can't win it, you can just vertical dribble. Because let's say he hits it vertical here instead. That
just goes to me.
Yeah, it goes to you, or also importantly, it doesn't go to me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm gonna try to react, and then it's gonna be out of my hitbox if she vertical dribbles here. But instead, she hits it into my box, and then I can just react. See, I'm going, okay, the safest option for me is a vertical dribble, so I'm gonna do it. And that's how it ends up happening, right? So again, the power of a vertical dribble here is that it would be a safer option than trying to win the interaction in the way that she tried. what you do here. Okay, so now it's moved past. You should immediately stop moving backwards. Yeah, you
I
kind
think
of.
I'm just trying to kill Xenockz,
Yeah, that's fair.
but I don't have. I do have secondary, but I get stunned out of it
Yeah.
because that's the right click to secondary should kill, especially with no evade. Right here, I should secondary down at them. I don't know
I
if I
stunned
press
you.
it, but yeah, your
I stunned you.
dash hits
Yeah,
me.
I stunned you. Totally intentional. I saved Xenockz. Yay.
But I think I don't know how that works if I did get the ability out before you hit me. I'm pretty sure it just adjusts me. So I did have a window where I could have secondaried there before you stun me.
Mm.
If I just full sent it.
Oh, I see. You're trying to kill Xenockz here, right? Yeah, you get something from. What happened?
ZZ's hits that in. What? No. What does happen?
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I'm a little
Does
confused.
Xenockz take your barrier?
Let's slow it down.
So
Who hit that?
Xenockz kicks it out,
Oh, it's right
and then
here.
I ult, and then it decides to go backwards into you on its own.
Yeah, nothing hit it. Why did it go that way?
Magic.
What the heck?
The speed lane can't do that, can it?
No, I don't think so.
Does
And
my
then-
ult
and then your
stop
ult-
it,
your
and then the
ult-
speed lane speeds it up in the direction that my ult stopped it?
That's so weird. It was speed lane? It was actually the speed lane. Maybe.
Hmm. That's the
then
only
your
thing that
ult-
could make sense to me.
And your ult hits it. Now, what I should do here is not vertical dribble because you have core flip primarily.
Back pass
I
to
need to,
Taco.
That's scary. I think ideally, if I have abilities, I dribble here, secondary here, and then start dribbling in this space. I don't know what I do here. Oh, I lose control. Okay. Oh, I almost had control. And then you tried to kill Xenockz, I think, right?
Yeah, I threw that out. He's walking through it. It misses, and then I grab the orb.
It misses.
Because this time
yeah,
Xenockz does strafe out of the ability and doesn't stand in the middle
instead
of
of
it.
just standing it. That's the mix-up. That's funny.
But I should have known that Xenockz was walking towards the orb.
Yeah, and secondarily, also you should know because Zentaro secondary has such a long wind-up that it's just not as effective to use as like a kill attempt. You should really, I think limit your secondary usage even more.
Okay.
You're just trying to angle for a core flip, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, Z's, please. Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I should have.
I think.
Yeah,
you need to block the pass.
I just need to know that Z's is
that.
up there. Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, I would say that's probably my weakest part of this entire game. Just knowing where Z's is going to be to cover.
Yeah.
It's probably not my weakest, but that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But also I'm one of the worst ones at Wait, why is it scary? What's scary? Why is what scary, Taco?
The back pass to Taco.
Oh. It's scary because he has core flip.
You can dribble it off the ground. The Taco safely.
Like right here. If I pass to you, Taco, all Sandy has to do is respond to that. And he can walk up and he's in core flip range.
You can off the ground, maybe?
Taco's trolling. Taco's trolling. Ain't no way.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say I go back. Let's say I go back here and then it knocks up. That's a long distance traveled, right? And in that long distance traveled, you'll just walk up and core flip it. Yeah, it's true. It's true, Taco. I don't trust you because the one time I trusted you, you completely didn't react to the fact that I passed to you. So
That did happen this game.
Here, yeah, I think you said you just need to trust that Z's has that out clear,
Mm-hmm.
clear, and then you need to cover both the pass. Like you need to sit right here.
Yep.
Ability usage.
I think this is to hit you when the core is coming back to you to try and force you to core flip. And also,
I
there's a
see.
chance I hit Xenockz as well.
And add some pressure. Okay. I think that's fair. I think that's fine. Maybe not the greatest, but I'm not gonna.
So I do stun you exactly when you get the core.
Oh, you do, and then you force out the core flip. Wait, you're a genius. And then, oh, he saves that. That's crazy. And I missed like a boomer.
And here's where I do the positioning dash and core flip and miss the ball.
Oh no! So like in this case, the position dash is okay. Because
just Taco's better with that clear.
I mean, it is kind of an insane clear that he hits. Oh my god, Taco! No, no, don't glaze him. Oh, that's true. Taco does do that. He does like to. He knows what you're going for, and so then he's like.
I also play goalie, so I know. Especially if you see where the Zentaro is dashing to.
Oh, I'm still on slow mo. Hold on. There we go.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, as a Juliet main, I sure love playing goalie into Juliet because I know exactly what they want to do and their only thing they can do.
Yeah. All right, hold on. What are you doing here? Let's see.
So
you try to win the interaction with the strike primary.
I think I could just let that go to Z's.
Yeah, you could. I do think. Yeah, I don't think you can do that because of the way I'm positioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the strike primary will just go straight to me, so you don't actually get any value out of it. You've traded your ability to win an interaction that ends up immediately going to the opponents. All right, you're here. Get in the crossfires. Yeah. Graham probably should have just passed straight to you. I think you're fine in terms of your positioning. See what you do here. I think that's fine. And then I miss. Yep, you got it. Okay.
I lost it off the barrier.
Oh, you do the thing. You do the thing. You lose control and then you throw out an ability.
You?
Yeah, right here. Yeah. So you lose control.
Yep.
Which I think is fair. It's fair to lose control after this, actually, because of the barrier take. It's a little micro movement. If you're just like you just have to have enough experience to know that that's the way it'll bounce up.
I mispredicted that.
That's all right. But the main thing is okay. You lose control, and then you try to just throw out an ability to gain it back.
Yep.
And then now you've lost an ability for nothing.
It's not even close to getting it back. Even if I do hit that, I think it's your control.
All right. So here you use an ability for reposition.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what happens if you don't? Let's say you just walk.
If I don't, I guess I make it to it?
You will, and let's say you don't. Let's say you just walk and go.
Taco.
You just walk to where Taco is. Well, let's say you walk along this way. Which actually it just ends up happening. So let's say you're walking. So we're gonna trace you. You walk instead. So you'll be like do. You're actually like in better position if you just walk. And then also if Taco gets to it, like you have Z's behind you.
Mhm.
So what you can do instead is you want to block the out clear. So you just stay up here.
Okay.
And Taco's only choice is to hit into the corner, which will go straight to Z's. You have this opportunity with a 2v1 because I'm out of
Yeah.
position. And so when you go down here, you've created the out clear opportunity for Taco.
Yep.
This is like using your secondary to reposition. So this goes into that ability usage theme.
Yep.
Of like that, and then ends up. Yeah, so Z's actually does the right thing, which is after you've kind of committed to the bottom, they commit to the out clear, but they go anticipation instead of
Yeah.
reaction. And so then Taco, just being patient, is going to totally hold this right here.
Yep.
Oh,
Unless
he does. Wait, that's crazy. I was hoping for Cinema that he would just completely lose the barrier. No. No.
No
The big
trust.
problem is if you hit that dash, how do you then score on me? Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's the other thing, is that you hit the dash, now you've burned an ability.
Yep.
Now you've lost some of your ability advantage by using your dash for that purpose. And instead, just walk with it so that, yeah, because now you have no abilities once you've burned it.
Mhm.
And then you just have to rely on this. Now, one interesting thing about this is that you're kind of still at strike advantage. You can just walk with it. You have no real impetus to strike.
Where's the core going? Like before I make it to it?
In that direction.
Okay.
I think I understand. The reason why you strike it is because you think, oh, Jesus blocking the out clear right now. And so then you want to limit the options, and that's why you strike then. Which I get.
Honestly,
Like,
I think
what you
I'm
could
losing control here. Because I thought
No, you're losing control because of your micro movement.
Okay.
The core is moving slow enough that you could just walk with it.
Okay.
But like what happens, and I've actually seen this a lot, is you strike and then you walk away. Like here you strike and then I think you walk away from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of implies that you think you're gonna lose it.
Okay. I see it.
If you walk with the core, then your um your your box will overlap with the core more, and then it just gives you more of an opportunity to win it.
Can I see that whole part right here in full speed?
Yeah.
That's full speed?
Yeah, that's full speed, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think you just ditch the core a little too fast here when it right there. You just ditch it and then you walk
Yeah.
away because you're almost expecting to lose it.
Even now I'm
Which like
under the assumption that I'm losing the core to its normal speed, but if I do keep up with it, then there's it's definitely right.
I'm pretty sure you can just keep up with it here, yeah. It's pretty slow.
Yeah.
There I think it was just like a mispositioning of your mouse, because I don't think you meant to dribble this way, right?
I don't remember, but it's possible I was sending it just back to Z's because I had nothing, or I mean I have primary now, but it
Yeah,
could be
but
either of the two.
let's say that you're a brawler, you're like, I need to dribble and I need to maintain control. And you're in this
Straight
like corner
down,
situation. Yeah, you have straight down, you also have this dribble here into this, and you just keep going into this corner over and over and over.
Yeah.
When you do that, you force your enemy back. So either Taco needs to move up and commit, which is scary, or the midfielder has to move back. And when the midfielder moves back, that's really good because it gives more space to your team. So it's better to just keep dribbling into this corner. If let's say you need some time to collect your thoughts, let your cooldowns recover, keep dribbling here.
Okay.
Oh, ability usage.
Yeah, I wanted to kill Taco. I'm not gonna lie.
That's all of us.
That was
That's
expecting
all of
Taco to
us.
walk up here.
That's all of us.
Because I have gotten kills on Bubu on this map for walking up along those lanes. because they
At
just
this-
walk a
at
little
this
too close.
distance?
Well,
Do you
he
think this kills at this
starts
distance?
not in goalie box, but if he continues walking forward, he's
Oh,
very
because
big.
he has knockback resistance outside of the goalie box.
Yeah.
I mean inside the goalie box.
So that, as you can see, I use the right click and I walk with him, and he just stops.
And then he stops. Oh, Taco, you're such a piece. You're so mad.
Forward for fun.
And then you move back to try to help here. I think that's fine. Ooh, okay. Use your secondary? No, you don't. Good. That's good. All right. So now this is one of those nice moments where you have everything, and but Taco has flip. Taco has flip, right? Yeah. You dribble it. Let's see what you do here.
I'm very sad that I get my passive here.
Oh, because you feel like you lose control because of the passive, right?
Yeah, because it
So
shortens the
one
distance
thing
behind you.
one thing you can try, because I think like one thing that could help you here is if you have a little bit more practice with using your primary to stop the core.
I can do that, and I don't, because I'm bad at the game.
No, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Unfortunately, that's like when you think of like character power budget. There's a lot of power budget in Zentaro that's put into that capability, and so if you pick Zentaro but you don't use it, you've lost a lot of the inherent power budget that's in the character.
So, Taco says that I can passive primary. Just passive the core into the wall, primary stop it.
Oh shit, Cliff's here.
Hello.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You have a pro leaguer to talk about to say what's truly the answer. Primary to stop the core right before he strikes it. So let's see. Oh.
So I did not expect my passive to be up here, and it threw me off. So that is why I lost it here. If I knew it was coming up, I know that there were plenty of options. That just explains. So I intend to dribble, and I'm ready to dribble again, but now I'm not in position to with the passive. Either I just passive at FriendlyTaco for no reason, and I just kind of walk around trying to figure out what to do with it.
I think once the passive's up, you kind of just say, okay, it's time to commit. You kind of just have to say that because, like, you know that you can't easily dribble to maintain core control. So you just say, all right, it's time to commit with some abilities.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, you send out some abilities and you force Taco to burn the score flip, right? So it's okay to just, like, to not take the barrier because you still get value out of it. Just ditch the passive. Oh, do you get me? No, you don't.
No, because you just hold to the right. If that was Xenockz, he would have died.
You would have died. I got him.
It's even true though. Every time I hit Xenockz, he doesn't strafe the way that you do in this game.
So I think again, this is a situation where it's okay if you did this because you were trying to take the core. But because you were actually doing it for the dash
commit
punch,
for the dash.
It's not good. Yeah, because the dash just has way too long of a cooldown. I mean, wind up time. Let's take a look at this moment. So right here, you have the core, and you just send it forward. Yeah, you don't really have too many options. I think sending it forward is okay. 25 for assist. Okay. All right, buddy boy. Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. Oh, into the barrier take. Yeah, that's great. We love it. Okay. So right here, you have another option. So you got the barrier, which is good. You keep moving back even though you have no chance to get it. So like at this point you should already be moving forward. But that's that's actually a third theme. That's a third theme we can add on.
Okay.
Like the first theme is around vertical dribbling because that's always real. Second thing, which is like around like core control and treating each moment that you get the core as like precious, and you want to maintain that moment. The second is ability usage, and making sure that you're getting value out of it, and especially not wasting it after you lose core control, because that's a common reflex that you have. And then the third would be around like like micro movements, which is basically as soon as the core gets past you, you need to like recognize that you don't have the capability to grab it again,
Okay.
and then just like start moving forward again and counting on the midfielder to get it back. Okay. So now Z's has set up a strike advantage for you, which you move along, but it's a little bit too far and a little too soon because of the barrier, so you don't really have much you can do here. But there is one option you have. Is one little option you have.
I mean, it's the vertical dribble.
It's the vertical dribble. Yeah, it's always the vertical dribble. Exactly. You can try for a vertical dribble. I think that it'll still end up going to me, but if you think about like, is that better than the other option, which is that it gets out of your control and it goes to THoHT? Yeah. I think it's a better option if you do a vertical dribble here.
So I do have a question. Is the vertical dribble on Oni's village, when I'm in this position that I'm in here, do I catch the dribble because I have the speed boost?
No, I actually think it's a little cursed because like you're a little too close to the edge, and the core's
so
a little close.
Because if I vertical dribble here, normally my instinct is I don't even catch the core. If I hit that against the wall, it goes away from me before my strike cooldown comes back up.
In the same way that the you get the speed boost, the core also gets the speed boost. So I actually don't think the speed boosts make a difference in terms of like the positioning in which a vertical dribble works. But let's say that you.
So if I do in this exact spot, because I've already positioned a little incorrectly, if I vertical dribble here, it just goes to you for free, and I don't get my kick
just go
back
to me,
right?
Yeah. Okay. Is that any different from?
No.
What if it goes to Taco?
Not really. It might buy a tiny bit of time for us to position, but I don't think sending it straight at the enemy goal is ever a good option.
Too close to the side of vertical dribble. Yeah, there's I guess an option of like hitting into this corner here, right? And then hoping that it bounces off this way.
I also see clearing back towards the goalie or midfield as an option, but Juliet has core flip. I don't know what
Juliet's
abilities you have, so
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, it's a little cursed. So I guess the right play then to ditch the core and then just make sure your positioning is good?
If you're asking me, I think the better play is to clear to where you guys aren't going to get it as easily, if I have no better plays. But I don't know.
Walk with the core and not hit it.
Well, okay.
And that's what ends up happening, I guess.
And then I get ulted.
You do walk with the core, yeah.
And I just shouldn't kick there at all.
Get Dubu ability. Oh no, I think you're fine to strike it here.
Well, I strike right before it gets to Dubu, which I don't need to.
Oh,
it just lets Dubu know. Like right here, if FriendlyTaco reacts to that, they don't have to use an ability because they see me kick.
So you strike right here. Yeah, so not doing that would be the optimal play. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess Taco gets scared even though the barrier is there, so it works out. So yeah, I guess walking with it is correct. Vertical dribble doesn't quite work because you're too close to the edge.
But I mean, you've given me plenty of reasons and places where it would be amazing to do.
Where it would, yeah. But do you get hit? Oh, you get hit with the dash punch. Flip, yeah.
And I have a
that's another reason why sometimes vertical dribble is useful. Is because it gets you away from the edge.
I just walk back into it, honestly.
I think the correct play is, it is still to walk with it and then just be mindful of the Juliet looking for it, but hey, there's another nice side effect of. Oh yeah, and then Graham gets that crazy clear.
That one was fun to watch in
I'll.
slow mo.
Do you see me do it? Do you see me do it? I lose control and then I just burn an ability. On.
Oh yeah, the dash.
Yep. Yeah. So I lose control. Then I'm like, oh no, it's like pointless. You see,
Yeah.
common instinct. How much you can do there? Did you have ult up?
I don't
Did
know.
not.
Nope.
Did not. You only got it up after round start. Okay. Graham, which one?
Yeah.
Graham
This is
couldn't-
the last game of the entire last round of the entire game. Still doesn't know where he wants to be.
That's funny. Xenockz needs a vertical dribble there. You
Probably
see the
so do
power
I.
that
Yeah.
a vertical dribble here instead of just trying to stuff it with like ult? Like, huh? I don't know, man. But yeah, so like he just passes it to you, you just vertical dribble. Right here.
Right
Either
off the
direction
top.
is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think going down is better because of Taco's flip. Yeah, a vertical dribble would be a lot more powerful here instead of passing off control, which I then just pass control over as well. These has the right idea to vertical dribble here. But then I think cooks a little too long. Let's see what. Ooh, is that the right play? Because you're
I do take the
intercepting the
bottom barrier
pass.
with a kick there.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, because you stunned me. I should have moved out. Oh, about that ability usage.
Just disables Zentaro right click for a game.
Is this because you lost the strike core? It is. Yeah, you lost the strike core and then tossed an ability out.
Sometimes I do go for the kick and then the stall, but I don't imagine that it would have even worked there if I won the strike war, because the core was so far to my right.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah, that wasn't even close. I guess it was
yeah,
headed in my direction.
you'd already lost the strike
yeah.
war. I think what it was is you did that assuming you would win it.
Yeah.
You just assumed you would win the strike war and then immediately would strike primary.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this case you kind of just have to identify that you weren't in a position to win it.
Yeah.
Waste some abilities there. You're fine here. Oh,
Hey. Because FriendlyTaco is going to hit it directly into my dash. And I'm going to protect my goalie from having to kick the ball.
yeah.
Yeah, that's...
So that's another like secondary to reposition in
Yeah.
and that's yeah. Let's see. I think it's like you trust Graham to get it and you just move up further. Because this also then commits you to a spot that again you'll mostly get to that position if you just walk there as well.
Yep.
Because you don't have a dash awakening. I think like when I was getting coaching on Zentaro from AlphaMe, he literally went in and like timed it. So what he did was he went into training mode and he did a secondary and he timed it, right? He said, okay, I do a secondary and then time how much distance you take and then use that same amount of time to walk it. And then you can like actually measure the difference.
Yeah.
And like once you see the difference that is, it should hopefully mean that you use Zentaro secondary a lot less.
Yeah, I don't even have to. I just know that that's wrong from just talking about it.
Yeah.
Until I have a dash awakening, which really I won't this game.
Oof. Ooh, 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 okay, right here. Let's see what happened. What we could do here. Here you toss it,
Yeah,
and you need to treat it as precious.
yeah. Dribble it off the top.
You have primary. Yeah, you can vertical dribble top because you're afraid of the flip. But if you can get him to burn the flip from that far back, that's good. Because instead, if you toss it, then he doesn't burn flip, and we get control.
Yep. Even if I
If you
cleared around you, it just goes to Dubu before.
Yeah, if you vertical dribble and he flips, then at least you got him to burn it. Oh, and then I think you already burned your strike at some point here, so it's on cooldown, right?
Yeah. Well, before getting
Right
stunned.
there, yeah. You burned it
But
right
you still get it.
You burned it right here, and Z's got it for you. But then because you burned it right here, then you couldn't strike it when Z's got it to you. Oh, that's just unlucky though. That I used my secondary for like a dumb reason, honestly. It worked out, but hold on, let's go back to it. So you get this. You should have vertical dribble. I do this, and then I secondary.
So you kicked it too far
Like
and lost control, so you used the secondary?
exactly, yeah. But like in this case, it works because there's an instance where that ability usage allows me to regain control. A lot of times when you do the ability afterwards, there was no hope to get control
Yeah.
afterwards.
No, Zentaro
But
primary
if
is not the same as anything Estelle has.
right, exactly. Like in this instance, I can grab it, I can stun, and then dribble it again.
Mhm.
But I failed. So so Z's gets to you, but your strike's on cooldown, so you have nothing that you do there. So this actually is another instance where having the ability to use your primary to stop the core
Yeah.
would be really useful. Because like your power budget there would allow you to then hit the core with your primary, stop it, get the strike reset, and then you can dribble down, and you're gonna have, and then you have core control. But then because I think you just react a little too late to that, and you lose control. Oh, that was good. Hold on. You noticed that you weren't going to get. You realized you weren't going to get control here, and then you started moving back, right? Yeah. So you realized you wouldn't have control, and you moved back. So this is good. Ooh, I missed that. Okay. And then you use ult. Do you get him to burn the flip? You do. That's good. That's good. And then Taco just has an insane clear, honestly. But like you did the right thing, right? You trade your abilities for his flip. That's good. I think we covered the themes.
Yeah.
And the main like and so now we know the themes. We can then turn that into like how you go into your next game. What are the actions you can take to act on those themes? Because that's another thing I hate about most coaching is that they say shit and then they don't tell you like, okay, now you go into the game. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So first off, keep an eye out for more vertical dribble opportunities.
Obviously.
Second, think about your ability usage and make sure that when you use your secondary, like a good heuristic to have is it should hit at least a person and the core.
Okay.
If you do that, you can generally feel safe that you're using it in a good way. Pre Dash Awakening.
Yep.
And then what was the third one? Which was third one was about micro movements, I think.
Yeah.
But
recognizing when I don't have control and just positioning instead of chasing.
Oh yeah,
That's
exactly.
the main
Yeah.
point.
All right. That's that game. 2 hours.
Yeah.
I already thought it was so long, but
No,
hopefully not.
it was awesome. There's like instant improvements that I already can tell. Just things I wasn't aware of, and real, actual examples of where they would come into play. I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, awesome. I'm glad. Yeah, in you should see some of the threads I had with Taco in DMs because I was doing this kind of coaching with Taco over DMs. Oh yeah. Taco. Yeah, I gave that description to Taco. He seemed to really resonate with that.
Thank you a ton, by the way.
Oh God. Okay, Taco. Taco wants to. He wants to get glazed because actually, because we can talk. What we can do is we can show like the type of play that he did after I coached him on this. Let's find
Okay.
it. Which one, Taco? What timestamp?